All right. So, it is Sunday Funday once again. I look orange because this light is just amazing. Ooh, yeah. I look great. So it's Sunday Funday once again. Oh, getting loaded into the Civic to head down to Conroe first. And the only thing I'm loading is an acoustic guitar that I'm not even going to use today. But might as well take it along, just show some people. And, you know. But last week I posted the very first Sunday Funday. And yes, that is going to be the name for it. But the joys of posting that have shown me a couple things. Number one, we talked about tips for improving your guitar tone last week. I posted that all along my social media places, Facebook, Instagram, all those places. And I posted a link back to the YouTube video anyway. And it was cool. I got a lot of awesome feedback. The first bit of feedback that I got was about being a little bit more specific towards beginners and everything, and giving a lot more information than I was giving. That's on me. I go by things a little bit too fast, but we're going to dive into some specifics today. Not really talk to a lot of people, but I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents on why I chose my pieces of gear and why I do the things that I do with my pieces of gear. I'll see you guys at Conroe first, and we'll get started with rehearsal and everything, and I will run you guys through my gear as we go along throughout the day. See y'all there. All right, so it is Palm Sunday, and it is the week before Easter, obviously, and yeah, nothing much special is going on today, other than the fact that, you know, it's the week before Easter, so we're all scrambling and, you know, trying to get ready for it. But, you know, you can, as a church, you can never be ready for Easter. So, you know, we'll get through rehearsal. After we get through rehearsal, I will show you guys around the station and let you guys know what's going on. See y'all. So, I talked about last week how to improve guitar tone. Obviously, I kind of just did some general points here and there, and someone addressed me about that on Facebook. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to break you guys down a little bit more of my gear and how I use it, why I use it, and why I went so overkill. So, let's turn you guys around and then let's show you guys what's up. So at my feet here, I have, of course, my board, and all of these things have a reason, of course, so let's just take you guys in closer. So, of course, here I have my 3 digital Boss pedals, which this is reverb, delay, and all modulation. I went digital on all of those because it was cheaper for one thing, and anything else that I would ever possibly need is there. These 2 are mandatory for all worship, in my personal opinion. The reason why is because we're creating palettes here. We're creating sounds and things that are supposed to be ethereal and really lifting up everything else. So these are almost essential, basically are essential in all worship pedal boards. Not these in particular. Most guys use the Strymons, but I ended up liking the Boss a lot better. I have the modulation in case I ever need to do like tremolo and stuff like Mighty Warrior from Elevation, stuff like that requires some tremolo. Of course, here I have my whole overdrive section, overdrives, fuzzes, boosts. You don't need all of this stuff. In my personal opinion, you only ever need 2 stages of drive. And the reason why I say you need 2 stages of drive, or at least 1 stage and a boost, is because you are going to want to get bigger at some point, and you're going to want to use these different palettes to do so. So when you are doing these things, you know, I like to use this by itself and this by itself, but you could stack these, you could even stack these and get heavier overdrive, or, you know, do a bunch of different stuff. And I think it is absolutely vital to have at least 2 stages. Of course, that's up for debate, but that's my personal opinion, and I like using all of this stuff for different stuff. You don't need a fuzz, you don't need a specific drive for your boosted solos, you don't even need a compressor, even though most people will tell you so. And I have a bunch of unnecessary stuff like the switcher, but I am a switchaholic in my personal opinion. I like to go from one sound very quickly getting to another, and this is one of my favorite things that I have, and it's my favorite investment that I've ever made. So, you know, don't go this overkill, but, you know, you need to have a certain amount of things to get by, and a reverb and a delay and overdrive are very necessary. Maybe not 2 stages, but definitely 1 stage, and something that you can bend down and manipulate. A tube screamer has always been a staple for this. This is a J-Rocket Rockaway Archer, basically a clone with a 6-band EQ. And then this is a Vertex dynamic distortion. I'm not sure what this is based off of, but it is a very versatile distortion. I just got it a couple days ago, and I like to use it for, you know, of course, all my heavy drive. I stack it with other things to get my solo tone and junk like that. So let's go ahead and move over to amps, and we can see how stupid I went on. Back over at amp land. I use 2 amps in stereo. Out at the Conroe First building, we're running mono because I couldn't tell you why, but I run these in stereo, have them going out redundant mono, but anywhere else that I would go, I'd run these 2 in stereo. It would not specifically be these 2. I switch out the Marshall and the Vox depending on what I feel that, you know, that week. I have been running the Vox and the Mojo Tone 5E3 Deluxe clone for a couple weeks now. I just wanted a different flavor, so I switched out the Vox for the Marshall. 2 amps are not necessary. Let me get that through everybody's skull right now. 2 amps are not necessary. I started out with this amp, and I started out with that amp, and I had that amp for many years before I got my AC30. I had a Blues Deluxe, or a Blues Junior. There we go. I had a Blues Junior for a while. I traded it with Michael, and that's where the AC30 came from. Then I got into vintage Fender and everything, and I was like, okay, I want a Deluxe. Bought a Deluxe, and I've been running those 2 together for a long time. It gives a very sweet tone. My main reason why I still run 2 amps, even though we are running mono, these 2 do something that one cannot do without the other. The Fender is very bright with a lot of low end, and the Marshall is very tubby with a lot of low end. I attenuate the Marshall's low end and push a lot more mids so that this can be heard. I would never use one of the 2 alone. And that is vital to my sound, in my personal opinion. Of course, you can get through with one or the other and fiddle around with your pedals, obviously, and you can get whatever you want, but this is the way I like to run it. This is all subjective. But realistically, you can go buy a Blues Junior, which is the most popular Fender tube amp at the time of filming this, and you can buy a Blues Junior and you can rule the world with that thing alone. And I love that amp, but these 2 together give me something that just one without the other does not, and that's why I run 2 amps. And of course, I don't have extra issues with stage volume because I run these relatively quiet. You can see the Deluxe is only on 3, and then the Marshall, those are my settings for the Marshall. And this is the Marshall DSL 40, the old one, the 40C, before they did the refresh in the line of the DSL amps. But I run that on the green channel, and it gets me everything that I need. So, you know, that's what's important to me. Let me just flip around so that we can talk face to face. So that's what's important to me. And you need all of these things to, of course, create palettes, but you don't need to go so overkill with it. Of course, I have the Rockaway Archer, and I love Klon clones. I love them a lot. You can go and rule the world with a Wampler Tumnus, which is amazing. I will link all of these down in the description. You can find all of these on Amazon, and of course they all range in value. I will show you guys. Of course, I'll go through and we can learn how to set these things up in another day, but right now it's not for a Sunday Funday vlog. But if you guys want to see that, you know, just let me know and I will show you guys what's up. And you know, it's a lot of these things are super important to the way that I want to sound. And you know, buy what you like. Don't get a metal zone. Metal zones can sound good, but for practice, not for worship. Don't do that.
Good morning. The mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from, oh, at the king of my heart.
So, Michael is the exact opposite of me. Michael has a budget. Michael has 3 kids.
Yep.
And Michael has to be smart about what he buys. So, we're gonna ask Michael what he uses. Hey, Mike, take me through the board. Take me through it.
Yep. You know, I guess everything pretty much starts over here.
All right.
With the newest edition. After a lot of trial and error, this is where I ended up. So it goes through the Layla into the Deep 6. Deep 6 was just it was a crazy good deal I got during Thanksgiving.
That's a great compressor.
You know, it does what I need it to do. Out of that, I jumped over from that to my kilt, and from my kilt to the Tube Screamer, which I think I've had that pedal for 10 years, something like that.
So for these two, are you cascading them, kind of using them as a first and second stage of gain?
Yeah, and I guess it just depends upon what I feel sounds good in the moment on how I position it.
All right.
From there, I go into the DD500.
That's a great pedal.
And so far, you know, I had the Nova delay before that, and I just think for as basic I am with delay, I should probably know more on it, but it does, again, what I need it to do. I think it sounds good.
I'm the same way.
So, from that, I go into, I jump over to my Flint, and I just wanted a good tremolo pedal, something to have a tap tempo, which, you know, I got the extension for that, which I'll add later. But out of that, I go into the Big Sky because, well, that's what everyone else had. And so I just followed their lead.
Yeah.
And eventually I learned how to actually use it. And again, it just sounds good to me.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, you know, I think that's probably the biggest tip, is do what sounds good for you.
So what's this amalgamation guitar over here?
You know, so this is the thin line Telecaster that it was a special edition that they were running. It has the Fender Fidelitrons in it. And again, what first caught my attention was the gaudiness of how it looked, and I liked it. And then playing it was just that much better. So you know, again, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
It's really only electric guitar I use. So.
Yeah, he's not like me.
Zach,
I have like 5 over there. But
so many.
now the AC20 that the famed AC20 that we've mentioned so many times that I want everybody to come steal. So what were you trying to get out of that? Because you have My Blues Junior now.
Yeah.
That's not mine anymore.
I think what I was really looking for was something that I could crank, get some good volume without having to sacrifice like the presence of just the huge onstage volume that
Yeah.
kind of overwhelms. And so, you know, it was compared to the AC20 that I had. It's just light. You know, it's lighter. It's form factor. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I can crank it up and get some good stuff out of it.
And that was his real reason for giving me the AC30, is because it was really heavy. He wanted to kill me.
Yeah, it was just killing my back.
Yeah.
So I got 3 kids, so my back's already from them. So.
But it's a great amp. Morgan's awesome. But you can see he gets everything and more out of all of this. And I have the master board over there. With the Friedman board and everything else. He gets all of everything I can get. He has 2 stages of gain. Like I said, it is necessary, right, Michael?
Yep,
Isn't it totally?
Absolutely.
And he does things differently here than I do. Of course, he doesn't have the big switcher and everything, but he still has the big digital pedals because that was the best possible place to go. So, you know, what wrong can you do?
Yep. And at the end of the day, just, you know, your taste is gonna change. Just do what sounds best to your ear. Your ear will adapt, and it's gonna find new things you're gonna want to do, and let that adapt, and let your pedal board be flexible to do that.
Oh yeah, and that's the great thing about guitar playing, is that everything is changeable and modular these days.
Yeah.
So, you know, take examples from this and my board. Don't actually take examples from my board. Take examples from his board. Don't go overkill. This is all you need. This will get you through. He's been here. How long have you been here, Michael? You've been here for what?
6 months. Maybe
Yeah,
now?
it's been about 6 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's had this same size board for a long time.
Yep. You know, I went big at one point, but again, I just scaled back because it's what sounded good to my ear.
But I'm slowly yet surely pulling him into buying a switcher.
Yeah, no, Zach's a bad influence all around on your budget.
No, yeah, he was gonna stick with the Blues Junior, and then I kept on doing things like buying more amps, and then he got an AC20.
Yeah.
Which, please never go and buy things on credit like us.
Your envy is, you know, it's a
oh
true
yeah,
thing.
gas is a horrible thing. But you know, thanks, Mike. Thanks for walking us through.
Absolutely.
And thanks for helping everybody out.
You got it.
Check Mike out on
I don't have anything.
nothing.
Really.
You have nothing.
No.
Okay, check Mike out on Sundays.
No, yeah, come up here and check us out.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a great turnout today, great Sunday. Of course, I'm never going to complain about a Sunday, but topics we covered today, we went a little bit more in depth about gear and everything else. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like. There'll be some more details about every product that we mentioned down in the description. You can get everything on Amazon that we talked about. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments. PM me, do whatever is necessary. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe and tune in next week for another Sunday Fun Day. Have a great one.